Yes. Anyways, so
What the fuck are you talking about?
sorry, my friends. I am so out of it right now.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us on Marketing Beat. My name is Beverley Theresa, and I'm a social media consultant based in Edmonton. I'm also a published author. You can go download Search Engine Journal's Social Media Domination ebook, and I wrote chapter 15. This is my co-host.
Hi, I'm Ameet, and I own an online marketing agency, or advertising agency, I should say, that focuses on pay-per-click advertising. And we're talking about how to troll competitors online.
So, Ameet, what do you mean by troll?
Troll, kind of make fun of them in a sense.
Okay.
So it's kind of we see it a lot in like those Super Bowl ads these days, especially not so much online. But it's kind of really great because they'll do like, I think last year we had like a Game of Thrones with Bud Light type of ad in the Super Bowl. And Bud Light's actually pretty good. It's usually beer companies that are really, really good at trolling the other one. So then there's like one from Miller Lite, I think, as well, which essentially insinuated that they were better with better ingredients and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny to see it roll out on like publicly on television and even radio ads sometimes. Well, we don't see it as much in online ads, and that's, I think, something that can be done or should be done.
Okay, so what's the first thing you want to teach us?
Well, first we need to talk about when you need to, not when you need to, but when to use trolling, essentially.
Okay.
So it's not for every single advertiser. It's really not for every single company, obviously. You are directly calling out your competition in a very public space, which we're notorious for. So you kind of have to ask yourself a couple of questions before you actually go ahead and do it, especially if you're doing it for clients or even for your own company. You have to really ask yourself if the tone of trolling fits your brand, right? So like I said, Bud Light and Miller have been direct competition for a very long time, and they often use a lot of humor in their ads, even off of trolling. So it makes sense for them to go ahead and do a kind of a trolling type of ad because that's what they're known for. So it's not out of character for that brand. And then the other half of it is, if you're thinking about dishing it out, can you kind of take it as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the people who like to make fun of everybody else but then can't handle it when they get made fun of, right? The logic doesn't make any sense. Why would you go ahead and say all this shit about everybody else and then not be prepared to kind of take it as well? So it's the same logic here. Bud Light, I think in the commercials, took the first shot. And then Miller Lite kind of did like the aftermath of the commercial. So that's how they kind of trolled each other on the Super Bowl ones.
Right.
So you can tell both sides weren't offended. They were just making fun of each other. So you have to make sure that you're able to, you're going to probably offend people, but you have to make sure that if they come back after you, that you'll be able to handle that.
Yeah. Can you take a clap back?
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Like Quinn and me. Hey, tell us more.
And then the last part is, will your trolling lead into like a legal fight at the end of it, right? So the thing is that like if you're calling out a company, you have to make sure you're not breaking any laws. So for online advertising, it's more or less of trademark issues at the end of the day, right? So if their name is trademarked, are you using their name in your ads? Because if you are, you're going to get those ads taken down, and that can potentially turn into something else in the long run. So you have to be really, really careful and understand what the laws are within your industry so you don't get sued. because obviously, why would you want to spend money to make money and then have to spend more money on a lawyer at the end of the day, right? So if you're comfortable with all of those, then obviously you're good to go.
Can I bring up an example? While I was looking for research for my presentation, I was looking at like lots of stuff about ClickFunnels. So then I Googled ClickFunnels, and then Lead Pages, their competition, says they have an ad right underneath ClickFunnels, and it says try Lead Pages instead. Is that kind of what we're talking about?
Twister, yeah, a little, well, not a little bit, but it kind of. So basically the best example that I could think of was when the 6S came out, I think it was.
Okay.
So the iPhone, and Samsung turned around and was like, did you mean the S6? And that was their online ads, and it was perfect because they didn't mention the brand in itself. They literally flipped the 2 letters and went, you're wrong. And it was very funny. And they were trolling the competition, but they also were trolling the user, which was really hilarious.
Yeah.
I think that's what kind of contributed to a high click-through rate. Because if I saw that ad, which I mean I did, I clicked through. I mean, I don't know if I bought an S6 after that, but the whole purpose was for me to get through to their website, and that's exactly what I did. So it was really, really funny.
So I know that, sorry, I don't remember what format we're going through, so I'm just like talking. Okay, so I remember like in previous marketing beats, you mentioned that you can bid on your competitor's name for Google Ads. So let's say I bid on a competitor's name, like what would be something kind of trolly that I could write for showing up for that keyword? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think in that case, because you have to be careful with their name.
Right.
Because, I mean, most agencies don't have their names trademarked, so you could actually do whatever the fuck you want, which is kind of great.
Right.
But in this case, I don't know. I've never been a fan of using their name in the ad copy, because I think that's just like crossing a line that's just like somewhat petty in a sense. So if it was like, I have to think of an example with saying names that won't get offended. So let's say you bid on my name or something like that.
Yeah.
And say I was like another social media agency or something. You could always go with what my weaknesses are. So if I'm not that type of agency that shares case studies and has no proof to my results, I maybe would touch on that a little bit.
Right.
It depends on your relationship with that person though, right? So if it's somebody completely different, you don't know them and you don't really want to create that negative blood, then I would stay away from like poking at their flaws.
Okay.
Somebody that you don't give a fuck about, I mean, go all hog, who cares? That's what I would do. I honestly, if it was an agency that I did not give a shit about and they knew, or they were going to find out and I didn't care, I would totally pick on their flaws. Because then
you're a bully, an internet bully.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Just joking. How else can we troll people online?
I think the other half is just kind of the way, I mean, you could do it in text ads and that's really great. You can do like custom audiences in Google AdWords where you can hit specific websites. So it could be competitor websites if you really wanted to. So if the user went onto the competitor's website and Google has been able to figure that out, they'll start tracking them and sending them ads. Okay. So you can always do funnier ads around that where you can kind of go on about how you're better than the other agencies or something along those lines, you know? You could do video ads. So if they've done like a video ad and you want to kind of troll it a little bit, very much like Bud Light and Miller, you can do that. So
yeah,
with Bud Light, did I say Bud Light was the one who started it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Bud Light was the one who started it. They did the GOT by Bud Light ad. And then basically Miller decided to just do the aftermath of it. So it wasn't GOT related. It was just like this whole different era type of war scene.
Oh, like if your competitor was doing a social media 101 webinar, even though those types of webinars should be free?
then I would troll them by making them free.
Yeah.
And then
That's
I would
my
have like,
plan.
a whole ad about it too, though. I would create a video ad about it, going, why would you pay for this when you don't need to? This information is available on the internet, and I'm going to give this, even though it may not be in video format, I'll give it to you for free. And then essentially target users that follow them.
That's so awesome.
It is. I like it. It's fun.
Oh.
It makes you feel a little skeezy telling people to do it, but like, why not?
I was going to mention too that like some people don't reserve their domain names properly. So like when we were at the agency, we bought a competitor in Edmonton's URL, and I think they were like blah blah blah.com or blah blah blah.ca, and whichever one they didn't reserve, we went and bought that .com or .ca and then just forwarded it. We didn't forward it to the website, but we could have.
Interesting. Actually, I think I would probably do the same thing.
I've done it.
I know you have.
That's okay.
It's okay.
Who needs friends?
So yeah, I think if you're looking at like type of industries that it would work really well in, I think like related to like politics is usually a really good one because they're always like kind of going at each other. Or you can even do like bigger brands too. If you really want to try to get viral in a sense and you're a smaller company, you should always try. I don't know. I always think you should always try for like a larger company and see if you could just get like to the point where it's just like, such a funny ad in terms of a video format that like maybe they'll just like catch on.
So like if you're a one location fast food restaurant, you could like throw shade at Wendy's and then hopefully Wendy's will do something.
Wendy's has got a really great like Twitter presence.
Yeah.
From my understanding. There's another one. Or is it just Wendy's?
Apparently the lady who started like that strategy, like the snarky stuff, she left Wendy's, but they're still continuing on with it. I was like, I wish that I invented that. I just have to be myself to be snarky.
Well, that's exactly it. So she didn't really start anything. It's just that she thought of a better strategy for the company, and it essentially, well, I don't know if it really like echoes what they do offline as much, but yeah, D brand is a really great example. They're assholes right around, and it's fun.
I love them. I want to work for them. Please hire me.
Yeah, I don't know if D brand's watching us. If they are, hire Beverley. I don't.
I'll send this to them.
Yeah. They'll troll us.
Oh well.
But yeah, anyways, oh shit, I don't know where I was going with that Wendy's thing. We went off track.
If it's on brand for you or not. In some specific industries, it's like it matches and some it doesn't. Like I guess if you're a lawyer's office, you might not want to be acting that way because lawyers are seen as like super profession stuff.
But I think that's where it would actually work to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like, because we see them as people who are supposed to be so professional, when they go outside to actually show us that they're human, it's actually quite interesting, I think. Like, there's these two lawyer brothers who literally give a tip on how to resist arrest every Friday.
Oh.
It's like kind of the funniest thing. They're like, if you get pulled over, do this. And then the next week it's something else. The next week it's something else.
That might work.
Yeah, so I think it's like really actually quite interesting because they've been in the game for like 25 years, I think, together, and they're twins, so collectively 50.
Are they cute?
They're so old.
Oh, yes, never mind.
25 years of experience. Think about that for a second.
They could be 50.
No, they are. A lawyer at 25, full-fledged? No.
Yeah,
no.
They could be so smart.
Stop
Anyways, sorry, continue.
But but that's like a really great way. They actually sat there and went, okay, this is the type of work that we do, and people keep on getting into trouble. So if we give this information for free, then that works. So then for them, to be fun and playful makes sense. So if they wanted to go sit there and troll somebody else, they could, because that works in their brand, right? Whereas with Wendy's, I kind of go, I mean, I love their Twitter presence. It's freaking hysterical. But at the same time, it doesn't really make sense anywhere outside of that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's a half-assed strategy, I think, if you were to ask me. Does anyone have any questions while I collect my thoughts? Someone please ask a question.
Oh, I know another way you can kind of, it's not really trolling, but it's kind of just like showing up for it on search results is if you do a blog post so when I was researching again, ClickFunnels versus lead pages or something, if ClickFunnels did a blog post on their website that said ClickFunnels versus lead pages and then versus all like their other competitors, like a blog post on each, then if someone's actually trying to compare the two, they'll land on ClickFunnels blog and then be like, oh, like this makes sense because you could, obviously you're biased, but some people don't make that connection that you would be biased because higher ClickFunnels and not lead pages.
Fair enough. Oh, okay. I remembered what I wanted to say. It was the last point, and it's the best point, I personally think. So if your brand is ready to troll your competitors and you're prepared in the sense of answering all those questions with a yes, and it makes sense for your brand, you can go onto Facebook's ad library and actually look up potential competitors, I guess, if you have, well, not if you have any, but like brands. Yeah, actually, you look up whatever brand and just try to find one that's closest to your competitor, and you can actually see the ads in themselves that they actually ran. And then you can also see the demographics, which I think is actually really freaking cool.
I can't see the demographics.
It depends on where you are.
Oh, okay.
I think it's based off of like location.
Okay.
But if you can see demographics. So what that actually does is that it gives you an idea of whether or not, how many impressions or how much reach you would end up getting, the suggested budget, which is really cool. It also tells you the ratio of men to women that actually clicked on the ads, but then also their age range.
Okay.
So then you can at least figure out what demographic would understand your trolling of that competitor. So if you have a younger, or if the brand that you're competing with has a younger demographic, then you should be targeting the younger demographic and not like the 45 to 65-year-olds, because they're not going to understand it. Even if they are somehow they're your target market, it won't make any sense to them because they haven't seen the ad in the first place. So if I'm doing like a hunting ad, which I would never fucking do, but if I was doing a hunting ad, and it was targeted between 18 and 24, and Beverly was like, I want to troll her, showing the ad to 30-year-olds and over wouldn't make any sense if I've only chosen 18 to 24s, because the 30-year-olds and plus won't be able to make that correlation that my ad is the ad that she is trolling. If you go into my feed, the one for my Fail Fridays, there's one ad that has two competitors in it, and it's kind of, I think, that a great version of trolling in a sense, where I can't remember the brand. They're comparing themselves to Aunt Jemima, the pancake company, and they basically just listed out all the ingredients or like the nutrition label stuff. And it was really, really funny because they kind of went ahead in their ad copy and said something about how they're Canadian. So it's obviously better. And I thought that was a really great example of trolling because it was very apparent. I mean, hopefully they didn't end up with a lawsuit, but for showing the logo. But I think that's a great way to do something where if you have a product more so of a product, if you've got a product, then you can at least show both of them and sit there and be like, we're better because they do, I don't know, their fat content is 15 grams and ours is 7 or something along those lines, and kind of compare it that way. And then use that ad copy to really like drive home the point that you're just making fun of them. Beverley Theresa, the social media consultant, is at Social West this week. I think Thursday and Friday. Honestly, I don't know. But she's leaving and coming into town today, and going to be at the Work Nicer grand opening tomorrow as well. She also released, or actually she didn't release it. She's part of, I know, I wish I went to. Quinn is at Social West as well. Beverly wrote a chapter 15 on ways to use Snapchat for your business on the Search Engine Journal Definitive Guide to Social Media. Please download it. It is amazing. Also, Ameet Khabra Inc., Marketing Inc. God, I don't even know the name of my own company. We released a PPC glossary a couple weeks ago. If you haven't downloaded it, please do. Next month, we're releasing the Google AdWords checklist, to audit. And newsletter subscribers will be the first ones to get it, and then everyone else has to wait. And that's basically it. And this was probably one of our worst episodes yet. It's what it is. Okay, until next time. Bye.